Welcome back to the AI Ripple Effect podcast, everybody. Today, we are joined from Colorado by Jil Di Rito, and we're lucky enough to have Jill with us. Jill is the Director of Customer Success at CrossCountry Freight Solutions. Jill, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to join today.
Oh, we're really excited to have you here, and it's going to be an amazing discussion, I am sure. So I know we've had this brief chat earlier, and it's a fascinating story, but why don't you start, Jill, by giving us, if you would, a bit of background about your journey to where you are today, a bit of information about what CrossCountry Freight Solutions provide from a service perspective and who your customers typically are.
Yeah, thank you. So a little bit about CrossCountry Freight Solutions first and foremost. We started as a little 3-state carrier in the Dakotas and have gradually just the right way acquired companies and grown through natural organic acquisitions within our footprint. We've done some really great things and some things that I think not a lot of other companies would be willing to take on in a short amount of time. So starting around the pandemic in 2020, our leadership noticed a lot of opportunities for taking on businesses within the Midwest of, the United States. So within that time frame, there were 5 companies acquired, all carrier-based LTL solutions. What we saw was a tremendous amount of growth in a short amount of time. We're looking to grow that quickly moving forward, but we are growing. And so we're slowly but surely starting to expand our footprint out of the Midwest into California, into Texas, into Illinois. And so we really feel good about our positioning coming up into this next life cycle of the company. And then with regards to myself specifically, it's really been such an incredible journey. I've been with CrossCountry Freight Solutions for 2 years now. And when I came on board, I was at a spot in my career where I was looking to blend my experience in outside sales, working with food processing manufacturers and selling into the food processing industry with my passion for customer success and the formal trade of customer success. I did spend a year in the tech industry learning customer success and really my passion for how well it works with sales and outside sales and everybody moving towards that mission of maintaining and growing revenue. I found it was such a great complement to both of my passions. And when I joined CrossCountry Freight Solutions, found such a great synergy between my passion for customer success and sales and their understanding and vision for where they want to take customer success within the freight industry and within LTL specifically. So that's how I ended up at CrossCountry Freight Solutions, working with the customer success department, working with our enterprise account managers, and just day to day trying to find a way to be better than we were before and to service our customers in ways that they're not going to get anywhere else. So that's it for me. And thanks for asking, Adrian.
That's a fantastic story. Thank you for sharing. It sounds like an amazing journey. In your multiple conversations with all of your customers and generally in the business at CrossCountry Freight Solutions, what are you seeing as the key market trends at the moment?
Well, I think everyone likes to mention tariffs, whether or not it has a direct effect on their specific business. It might affect their customers. So it's having that quote unquote ripple effect throughout the industry. I think that the overall sentiment is the market at best is a little bit flat, if not trending downward. Some are indicating a freight recession. I will say that the relationships we're building are maintaining our core business, our core customer relationships. So, where we do hear the typical things that are influencing the market right now, what we're noticing is increased loyalty at the same time.
Right. And you talk about the market and a slight potential downside. Are you seeing trends amongst your customers regarding pressures on cost reduction, drives for operational efficiency? Is that something that you're seeing as a theme?
Cost reduction, I think, is always going to be in place. And so I think even in the best markets, you'll still have customers who are very conscientious of making sure that not only is cost efficient, but those transit days that they want to deliver on for their customers is a high concern as well. So I think that nothing has really changed. It's just become amplified in the concerns. When we find ourselves having those conversations with customers about cost efficiencies, operational efficiencies, we want to make sure that that's the main concern, because I think for a lot of healthy companies that are still thriving throughout this current market, they're also simply concerned with service. And maintaining that service is going to keep their business thriving no matter what's happening at the market at large. So that's where the enterprise account management team and the sales team comes together in our quarterly or meetings with our customers and have those discussions. Is this really about price? Is this really about cost sensitivity? Or is there something else that we can talk about that can help drive those efficiencies on the back end, processes that we can improve internally that can help as well?
Wow, that sounds amazing. And I picked up you have a regular quarterly review with your customers. Is that something that you've implemented?
Yes, absolutely. Coming in to CrossCountry Freight Solutions, one of the very first processes we put into place was the strategic business review. Some customers already have a QBR process that they execute with their carriers, to the point where they may even drive how that looks. They may even bring specific metrics that they want covered. They may be even in charge of leading those calls. But for all of our qualifying enterprise accounts, we do lead a cadence of strategic business reviews. Now, of course, that's going to come down to the specific customer's needs, but it can be quarterly, it can be monthly. We even touch base with some of our 3PLs weekly. And a lot of those conversations then come down to RFP statuses and things like that. But just having the chance to connect with customers on a weekly basis opens up the door for discussions about satisfaction and about efficiencies that you mentioned. And it really builds the relationship just by default, having that much contact with some of our customers.
Amazing. That sounds like a great approach to take. And in the journey that you've been on at Cross Country Freight Solutions, to where you are today, what have been some of the challenges, whether it's across modernizing the operations, putting in place things like your quarterly business review, etc.? What have been the challenges you've encountered, and how have you got over those?
Challenges that we've encountered are even within the freight industry or the LTL industry. I think that account management as a practice, it's understood, and the necessity for it is understood. But when I first came in, we were customer success advisors, and I think that that was perhaps one of our biggest challenges in adoption internally and externally. The thought being, what's the difference between customer service and customer success? And like, what, just practically, what's the difference? And then number two, why would I go to one versus the other? And so the educational process of, hey, we're here for long-term issues, for proactive resolution, and for really taking a step back and having those larger conversations about your account, they were more difficult than once we made the switch to enterprise account managers. I think that just differentiated our main and core role from other roles within the company and within the industry. And I think if I had to do it all over again, I think that would have been one of the first changes that I made. You and I talked about that a little bit earlier too, but within the customer success department, just making that differentiation was probably one of the most necessary things that we could have done sooner.
Amazing. That's great. Thank you for sharing. And in the role that you're in, customer success director, what's your take on artificial intelligence in helping customers, in helping you deliver value to customers? What's your take on it?
It's not going anywhere, right? And I think that our take, and I've been so heartened to see the team really adopt AI, is that if we can learn how to use it, it's only going to enhance our interactions. So it's going to surface those data points that are important to our customers much more quickly. But it's not going to be able to sit on a Zoom call, pick up the phone, and really understand and have that nuanced interaction with the customers. And that's what we bring. I think that that's a huge sentiment, and it's a very real and valid sentiment. in all industries right now. Using it and learning to use it effectively is going to give you the ability to focus on the most important contacts and engagement that you have with your customers. And it's going to increase your credibility as their advisor because it's going to help you think more proactively. It's not going to do it all for you, but it's going to give you all the necessary data points and tools to help get ahead of issues for your customers.
Right. I mean, it seems like you guys at CrossCountry Freight Solutions are quite technologically advanced. I know you've got a bunch of APIs out there, et cetera. So it seems you're leading the charge. So well done on that space. And obviously, you've been through this journey. You put in place all these operational processes for customer success. You're adopting AI. What are the plans looking forward, say 12 to 24 months for CrossCountry Freight Solutions?
That's a great question, Adrian. And really, our plans are to expand our footprint and expand our presence. So, as you mentioned, technology is something that is evident and apparent in everything we do. We did win a breakthrough supply chain award in 2025 for our True Track technologies, and that's just one example of where we are leading the charge. But for the next 12 to 24 months, we have a number of proprietary technologies that we're working on to help us stay ahead of the API game, to help us build out internal processes and make the lift a lot easier internally. Strategically, we're always looking to grow our physical presence and our ability to open up new lanes for existing customers and add new customers to that mix as well.
Okay, amazing. I mean, that sounds like an exciting growth, both from a technology, but also broadening out the footprint of the business. So it sounds you're poised for exciting times across country. So listen, that's been amazing, Jill. Thank you so much for sharing all of the information about CrossCountry Freight Solutions and the services you provide. If folks out there listening and watching are super interested in finding out more about what you guys do and the services you provide, where can they get that information?
Well, first and foremost, just come directly to our website at ccfs.com. So cross country standing for CrossCountry Freight Solutions.com. And anyone can help connect you with the enterprise account manager team, any one of our sales representatives. But really, it starts there. And you'll notice we're highly responsive and ready and eager to answer any questions. And another thing to bring up too is that on the website, you can find educational resources. We've just recently launched what we call our Think Tank, right? So it is a webinar series, but what we designed that for is to establish ourselves as consultants, not only about our specific footprint and what we can offer within our lane mix, but within the LTL industry, because there's a lot of changes that are happening right now. And one switch that's coming up is density-based pricing. It's already happening, right? But some people are still adapting to it, trying to understand it, even though at the end of the day, it's going to be much easier for everyone involved. It's a system of pricing that's been in place for so long, and we want to help lead that conversation. We've had density-based pricing as something that we like to default to for over a year now, knowing that the changes through the NMFC were coming. And so we want to lead those conversations. So that's going to be coming up in a think tank, a webinar that we'll be putting on soon. And also we want to talk about common pain points in the industry at large, like claims reduction.
Right.
That's going to be our next webinar. And then also just pool distribution. How does that look? Would that make sense to do with any of the terminals that we have in our footprint to make like we mentioned earlier, your operational procedures much more efficient, cost efficient, and just overall reducing the amount of trucks you have on the road?
Right. And a question from me, that density-based pricing, that's on the LTL. So when you have a almost at capacity truckload, you reduce your pricing. It's dynamic pricing in that context?
No. So what that really means is that it's taking a formula that you can use based on dimensions and weight. And it's going to give you a more uniform pricing system. It's different than the traditional Zarlite or whatever pricing structure that you're currently on that may take into account a whole array of different data points. This is just looking to simplify it into a very uniform formula. And yeah, the difference between truckload and LTL, now that's something I'm definitely not within my lane to go into, but I mean, we do also offer North American logistics if you're interested in full truckload services as well. I can just go into the fact that between LTL and full truckload pricing, that's not something I'm ever going to be qualified to speak towards, but we do offer full truckload services at CrossCountry Freight Solutions, the solutions piece of our company name there. So if there are full truckload needs direct from A to B, we're here to help with those as well. But yeah, that density-based pricing for LTL, something our pricing team is incredibly knowledgeable in and very passionate about educating for the industry. So we're excited to be able to address those things with our think tank offering.
Awesome. It sounds as though you've got all that knowledge base out there on your website to help people out there. So I'll make sure that we include all of those links in the description of the podcast. I guess you guys are on LinkedIn. If people want to find you on LinkedIn, they can do. And we'll make sure that we include all those links as well as part of the podcast description. So for now, Jill, thank you so much for giving us those insights and the background in your story. For those guys out there watching and listening, thank you for joining this episode. We will see you in the next episode of the AI Ripple Effect podcast. But for now, Jill at CrossCountry Freight Solutions, thank you so much.